to my channel. So today I'll be showing you guys how to make a tube dress with a sleeve, off shoulder top, like a sweetheart neckline. So for that I'm going to be using this 4 yards of fabric. I have my lining, I also have tape and scissors. So first I'm going to open up the fabric. So guys, I've cut out about 3 yards here. So this will be the bottom of the dress. This is going to be a long dress. So this is going to, I just cut out 3 yards separately. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to gather this for the bottom of the dress. So now I have extra 1 yard left. So this is going to be the part where I cut the top from. So to cut the sweetheart neckline tube top, what I'm going to do is, so guys, I'm going to start cutting the top part. And to cut the top part, the first thing I'm going to do is to the bust measurement, which is going to be the widest part of the upper body. You add 12 inches to it, right? The 12 inches you're adding is for the total for all the seam allowance that you're going to need for the top part of this top. So you're going to add 12. The 12 is just constant for everybody. So if the bust, for me the bust measurement is 40, so I added 12 to it, so I'm working with 52, right? So you're going to cut fabric that has a length, like from length of 52 from the beginning to the end, right? And then after cutting it, let's say this is your 52 as the full length, you fold it into 2 this way and then split it into 2 here, right? Separate it into 2. So that's what I've done here. As you can see, this is mine. So I had these two together, and then I had it this way, right? So this is my total 52. I split it into 2 this way and then folded one to be my top, the front, and then folded the second one to be the back panel. So now we are going to start shaping it. If you've gotten to this point, so basically you separate the bottom of the dress that you're working with, cut out what you want to use as the girder, and then the next thing you're going to do is to, whatever your bust measurement is, add 12 to it, and then cut out a long piece of fabric for that, and then you have, and then whatever you have left, divide it into 2, and then that's what we are working with at the moment. So now this is going to be my back panel, this is going to be my front panel here. So guys, my top for this here, so we've already determined what the width of the fabric was. So the length of the fabric, the length of the fabric as in the beginning to the end here, on the person is shoulder to waist, on this person is 18, right? But I added extra 1 inch to it to make it 19. So that's why my tape down here is at 19. The extra 1 inch is for half inch seam allowance for attaching the bottom girder, and then half inch seam allowance for the top part here. So the next thing I'm going to do is, as you can see, I want my top to start somewhere at this 7 here. So as in from the shoulder, I want the top to start somewhere at 7. So what I'm going to do now is to start shaping the dress, the top. So we've already determined that it will start from 7, and then the end here will be 19 because of the extra 1 inch. So what I'm going to do now, the armhole I'm working with is supposed to be 20. So 20 by 2, that will leave me with 10. So I'm going to mark here as 10 for my armhole, right? So here is where my armhole will fall in, and then come down to the waist. The waist measurement that I have here is 33 plus 12, that will be 45, right? So if I divide it by 4, I'm going to have 11.5 to 11.25 to work with. So I'm going to mark it down here. I'm going to mark 11.25 down here, and then from this point here, I'm going to connect the 2 lines together, right? I'm going to connect these two together and then cut. So you see, I'm going to cut this out, armhole out, and then cut this here. So here, I've cut this out here. So I'm going to separate the back and the front right now. So this will be my front, this will be the back here. So I'm just going to open up this here for my zip allowance. And then when I go to sew, this is my own way of doing the sweetheart neckline, and it still comes out perfectly okay for me. So when I go back to sew, normally people would give like a slit here and then for it to be your dart, but I just go to the sewing machine, fold it into two this way, and then dart it myself. Just dart this out, right? Give it a dart, and then when you open it up, it looks something like this, right? So that's how I normally do mine. So this is so now we'll go back to the front panel. And so to finish up this front panel, so guys, so to shape the front piece here, what I'm going to do is this piece here, I'm going to fold it in, right? Fold it this way, and then I'm going to check from the you're going to measure on the person the breast point to breast point measurement, right? So for me, mine is 8, right? So breast point to breast point on the person is 8. That's from one point of the navel to the other is 8, and then you divide it by 2, so that will be 4. Add 1 to it for the seam allowance, so that's 5. So I'm just going to measure and check if the 5 fits in all the way on this folded piece, and I'm going to just check, run down and see if it fits in. Yeah, so it fits in perfectly on this here, right? I have 5 all the way from this point to this point on this folded piece here. So after that, the next thing you're going to do is the next thing I'm going to do now, put my tape at 7, make sure I put it back the same way it was, and then shoulder to breast point on the person is 12, right? I'm going to mark it here, 12. Mark the line here. Shoulder to under bust on the person is 14, so I'm going to mark it here. Shoulder to waist on the person is 18, so I'm going to mark that here, right? So you see what I've done? I have shoulder to breast point, shoulder to under the bust, and then shoulder to waist. So the next thing you're going to do is to come to the line of the shoulder to breast point, and you're going to, so you come down to the shoulder to waist, subtract 0.5 here, right? Half an inch, mark half an inch here. Come up here, mark 0.75, that's 3/4, right? So you mark 0.75 here. So I'm going to put in my tape and see where that falls in. That's 0.5. I'm going to mark that here. Here you mark 0.5 here. That's half an inch here. Here you mark 0.75, not up to 1 inch, right? So here is half an inch, here is 0.75, and then here you don't mark anything. So from this point now, you're going to connect to this line, right? You're going to connect to this line here, and then you're going to mark out of this point here. So it's going to look something like a question mark, because this is half an inch, but this one is 0.75, so it goes in this way. So you see, remember this is under your bust, so it's supposed to be smaller. So you see, from your waist, you come out here, you go in, go out again, and then you come up to the top part of this here. So guys, from here, I came down by 1 inch here. So that's how I got this mark here. And then I connected it all the way in and then down here. So the next thing I'm going to do is put back my tape at this side here at 7 where it's supposed to be, and then the V that I want is about 9.5, right? So I'm going to mark at 9.5 down here, or I might even go, I don't know if I want it that deep, so I might just go up to 9. If I want it deeper than that, I can always try to change it while sewing it. So from here, I'm going to mark my V. So mark my V this way, and this is basically it. So guys, right now I'm going to cut it out, and as you can see, I've already finished up the side. And when I first started, I used to make the mistake of cutting all this on this side, but always remember you cut it on the other side, right? When you fold it, you cut it on this side. So I'm going to start now to cut. And then put my hand out. This is one of the ways to do it. There are different ways to cut this, but this is one method to do it. So guys, I'm done cutting mine. This is what the center will look like here. This is the side, and then this is one side here, and this is the other. This is the other side here. So guys, I'm going to cut the sleeve right now, and for the sleeve, what I'm cutting is just from one side to the other side, right? Because it's going to just be attached to the top. So, and the measurement I need is just from one side of the armpit to the other side of the armpit, like right around the arm, the top part of the arm. So what I have to work with is 9 inches. So 9 inches. So I'm going to add extra, maybe 1 inch to it as seam allowance, as in half an inch on each end of the sleeve to attach it to it. So I'm going to cut that out now. So guys, this is the band I'm using for the sleeve here. So one on one side and then one on the other side. It's about 3 inches this way, and then this way it is about 10 inches, but I only need 9 inches, so I added 1 inch for the seam allowance, so that's why it's 10. And I'm going to set this aside now. So I figured, since I had more fabric left, instead of cutting this the second piece as with using my lining, what I'm going to do is to cut it from the same fabric, so that way the inside of this will still be this same fabric. So what I'm going to do now is I attach the piece together. So as you can see, I have 2 of these. I attached them together. So now what I have to do is to put it on top of each other this way, and then I'm going to close up the top part here. But I'm not going to close up the armpit, because remember, I'm still going to attach a sleeve here. So all I have to do is to close up from this part here down, and then I'm going to flip it over and iron it out. I've finished up the dress. This is what it looks like at the moment. So yeah, this is the sleeve. I've already attached the zip at the back, and then this is the length of the dress. I'm still going to put in a slit in front, so I'll do that later. So it's a floor length dress, and this is the back. I'm still going to iron out the sticker, this sticker at the back here. So this is what it looks like right now. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye.